On Mondays and Thursdays, before we begin the Nefilat Apayim, the Tachanun, we have an introductory section known as the Tachanun Ha'aroch, the longer supplication, beginning with the paragraph of Vahu Rachum. Why on Mondays and Thursdays? Because Mondays and Thursdays are considered an auspicious time, either because they were the days on which traditionally the Beit Din would sit, and therefore, when our Beit Din Shalmata would sit in judgment, we imagine as well that HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Beit Din Shalmala, his heavenly court, sits as well, or because it was on a Thursday that Moshe Rabbeinu ascended Har Sinai to receive the second set of Luchot, and a Monday on which he returned. The origin of these 7 paragraphs and their recitation is subject to a bit of a mystery. According to many Rishonim, the Avudraham, the Ravan, the Manhig, and the Kolbo, it's based on a story of 3 exiles from the second Beit HaMikdash who were ended in a country where, unfortunately, the evil ruler wanted to judge whether they were truly who they said they were by throwing him into a fiery furnace. The 3 begged for an additional 30 days of prayer and of fasting, which they did. And on the 30th day, one of them, a righteous elderly man who wasn't necessarily the most learned, had a dream in which he saw people discussing a verse, a pasuk. He didn't know the pasuk, but he remembered the pasuk had the word ki twice and the word lo 3 times. One of the 3, who was more scholarly, said, you're referring to the verse from Sefer Yeshayahu 43, Ki tavor b'mayim itcha ani v'naharot lo yishtafucha, which ends with the words, Ki telech b'mo eish lo tikaveh, when you walk through fire, you'll not be scorched, u'v'lahava lo tivarbach, nor will the flame burn you. As a result of this vision, they realized that this righteous man was the one who could possibly save him, and he volunteered to be thrown into the furnace. Once inside, he was able to walk around unscathed, but he saw that the fire broke into 3 parts. In each one of those parts, the vision of an elderly, sagacious person appeared, each person reciting a different set of verses. The first said the verses of Hu Rachum, Hatei Elokayos Lechana Beit Narachim, now the first 3 paragraphs of the Hu Rachum. The second recited the next 3 paragraphs, Ana Telech Rachum, Melech Chanun V'Rachum, Kel Rachum V'Chanun, Ein Kamocha Chanun V'Rachum. And the third, the 7th paragraph, Apoteach Yad. Based on this, those 7 paragraphs were chosen. There is a different account as well, mentioned also by the Rokeach, who records a tradition going back to the time of the Gaonim, when the Romans sent a group of refugees on a boat without a rudder and without a captain. One of those groups landed in the distant shores of the Bordeaux in France, and there 3 people, Rav Yosef, Rav Binyamin, who were brothers, and their cousin Rav Shmuel, led the people in prayer and fasting, ultimately leading to their salvation upon the unexpected death of a local king. Seeing this as a confirmation of the efficacy of their prayers, they combined those prayers into a single composition, which is the core of our Tachanun Aroch, the longer Tachanun Mondays and Thursdays. More recently, Professor Yaakov Gartner in his Yunei Tfilah was able to trace the origins of the Vahu Rachum to early customs of communal fasting, which took place on Mondays and Thursdays, the Yemei Hadin, and were used as part of a special slichot that came after the Shmona Esrei. When this practice made its way from the time of the Gaonim in Bavel to Ashkenaz, the tefillot were reinterpreted as general forms of tachanunim, and they were then brought together, the 7 paragraphs, as a way that we're able to introduce the Nefilat Apayim on those 2 days of Monday and Thursday.